Hello, Dr. King. How's it going?
It's a wonderful life. It's a wonderful life, sis. How are you doing,
Yes.
Mrs. Benford? How's life treating you?
Life is treating me well, my brother.
Let me tell you, but it was good. It was good seeing nephew the other days. I mean, just like thinking it, man, like he's come a long way and now he's into that medical field the way he, what I'm saying,
Yeah,
wants to be, man. It's a blessing.
it's a
Just sitting
blessing.
there.
You
So it was
just
good seeing him. It was good seeing
keep
him.
us in prayer as he navigates through that
Yeah.
next season with those who are considered our enemies. But to God be the glory.
Hey, but it's something, boy. Preparation is something.
Yes, yes,
Preparation is
yes.
something.
Look, y'all, we are so happy that you are here with us on tonight. Like, share, bring people in
Bring them in.
tonight. Look, I was just telling my brother, I'm like, this topic has always been quite interesting for me of trying to navigate through this. So I'm so excited to just talk about this tonight with my bro. Like, we are going to talk about friends or friction.
It's potent. It's potent.
Yes, like why do we attract certain relationships? And we're going to talk about how insecurity, betrayal, codependency, how
Hmm.
all that shapes our friend relationships. And we're going to even dive into what truly is a friend.
Come on
Like,
now.
because I just learning and growing and just growing in Christ, really understanding what a true friendship really means, what it entails. And I'm just so excited to dive into this tonight, bro. You ready?
I'm ready. I was born ready, son. I'm
Wow.
ready for this conversation.
So the first thing I want to talk about, because people say this all the time, when they're talking about friends, they always talk about how they want to attract or be friends with people that they're similar to.
Yeah.
So let's talk about why that's even a thing. Like, why do we feel like we need to be friends with people that we're so similar with? And really, should that be a thing?
That could be so. It could be a great thing, but at the same time, it could be a very dangerous thing and
What?
detrimental to your well-being. Because we know opposites attract. A lot of time when you look at your spouse, I'm pretty sure you're like, we're so different in so many ways. But the thing is, I always say this: you add value to each other because
Wow.
they bring what they know to the relationship. You bring what you know, and you grow. And even in your weaknesses, you help build each other up with your strengths. But
Right.
many of us, we attract friendships that mirror our past wounds. That's the issue that we're
Yeah.
having. They mirror our past wounds because unhealed pain is like a gravitational pull. You're trying to figure out why you're pulled to someone and why you're attracted to them. It's because you have the same wounds, you have the same
Wow.
scars. So what lives in your heart shapes what you are willing. Think about
Wow.
this. What lives in your heart shapes what you're willing to tolerate. Because what we do, we begin to normalize it and we become attracted to it. If our heart is unguarded, our relationships become reenactments of our past pain instead of reflections of our present growth.
Wow.
Think about it. I mean, it's something. So that's why we got to deal. We talked about it for so long. We've talked about trauma and different things. So that's why we have to deal with our trauma because we know that unresolved when we have unresolved trauma, it makes our soul will mistake the chaos that comes from our trauma for connection and dysfunction for loyalty. So we have to
Wow.
really be careful. And people don't understand, oh, this is my friend. Y'all in a dysfunctional relationship. How is that your friend? Y'all are always, I mean, fighting. Now, come on now. We shouldn't always be fighting. We shouldn't always, y'all always mad at each other. Y'all are
Yeah.
always not talking. Make that make sense. And I've learned, scripture. We want to talk about scripture. First Corinthians 15:33 says, bad company corrupts good character. You keep hanging
Wow.
around people, you're talking about your friend, but you can't figure out why every time you go home to your spouse, why every time you're dealing with your children, why every time you're operating on the job, certain things come out. It's because you've
Wow.
surrounded yourself with bad company that you have confused for friendships.
Wow. And that goes back to just basically choosing friend types based upon insecurities.
Hmm.
Like, we have to make sure that we're not just trying to be in certain friend groups and certain relationships because of insecurity. I said this before last season, how just things appear to be one way and they're not. Like, we can talk about just how things look on social media or just TV. Like, you have like the housewives and you have all these different things, and you
Dysfunction.
see, yeah, and it's very dysfunctional. But then
Dysfunctional.
what's so crazy is it's moments where they're like pouring out, to each other and seeming to be comforting each other, only for it to then be
Yeah.
like messy. And so then you have to ask yourself, why do you stay in those communities, in those friend groups, when you know that it is toxic? Like, what role does those insecurities play with that? How does that play into that?
You become what you consume.
Wow.
That
Wow.
goes so many different ways with that, but you become what you consume. I would tell anybody. First thing I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna really deal with this
Mhm.
this television, this reality TV. And
Yeah.
I'm not knocking. I'm not one to mess with anybody money, but I'm going to tell people who are in relationships and who really want to have lasting and loving relationships, whether with friends or with spouses, to be careful what you eat when it comes to reality TV.
Wow.
Got to be careful what you eat, because what they're feeding you is just like the stuff that we're eating now. It's all processed. This
Mm.
is staged. It's not real. We eat a lot of processed. A lot of our food is now processed. It's not real. So that's the same way it is when we take on that and we harbor that, and it becomes a part of our day to day lives. And I want to tell you, when it comes to your friendships, your circle is a reflection of your internal state. So
Wow.
you're going to surround yourself with people who make you feel want to make you feel like you feel. Follow me?
Mhm.
They empower how you feel. So
Mhm.
if how you feel is toxic, how you feel is negative, you're going to surround yourself with people who are going to empower how you feel. If you doubt your worth, you will accept
Wow.
relationships that mirror that doubt. So
Wow.
that's so you got to understand. When we talk about
Wow.
it, when you don't know your worth, what do we do when we don't know our worth? We lower our standards. You'll give people access not because they're healthy for you, but because they are available to you. So
Mhm.
insecurity basically confuses familiarity with faithfulness. That's what it does. We confuse it. Just because you're familiar with something or someone doesn't mean they're faithful to you. That's my man. That doesn't mean he's faithful. That's my
Right.
woman. You familiar? We're familiar.
Because a lot of times what happens is you don't know how to create those healthy boundaries with your friends, because you have those insecurities, so therefore you tolerate things. You don't have a balance when they it comes to those relationships, because if you don't go on this girl's trip, then you feel like, oh, I ain't gonna be invited the next time. Or if I can't
I'm
go
not.
out to this dinner to celebrate this friend, then what's gonna happen? Will I be invited the next time? And friendship was never supposed to be like that, be where you're out of balance and out of whack, or trying to please. That's what I
So,
see a lot.
so are you my friend, or is this people pleasing?
Wow.
That's big. Are you my friend, or am I looking for your approval? Because if we're friends, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times we don't know that's what we're doing. We're actually people pleasing, or we're looking for approval from a specific group, thinking that they are really our friend. No, it's what I'm connected to you because of the benefit or the use you have for me. But as soon as that benefit of that use runs out, we're no longer friends because we no longer see eye to eye. So is my friendship based on what I can do for you? Is our friendship based on what I'm trying to be a part of or connect to? Because that's
Bro, let's talk about this, because so many, we're young, but we're getting older.
yes, yes, yes.
Young. And I'm with our age group. I just feel like people are chasing friend groups. They're chasing trying to be a part of a community. Like,
It's called status.
where does that stem from?
It's
Like if
called,
people
yeah.
like they're 50 and they're trying to become a part of a frat or a sorority because they're like, this is my friend group. Like, where does that come from with people trying to chase fitting in with a friend group, even at this our ages?
Everything, or every circle gives you a level of status. And so,
Mm,
what people are chasing, whether they tell you or not, is status. They want to be looked upon and viewed as someone of significance or importance. And what happens is, if you're not careful, you'll begin to lift up that circle. You'll begin to lift up, that circle, that group, or whatever. You'll begin to lift that up more than you lift up God.
wow.
And that's our example of what it is. He was high and lifted up. That's the
Mm,
one who we look unto, the author and the finisher of our faith. So for all of us, I mean, whether we tell us it's status, and we find it, and that's why we got to even be careful. Even when we talk about the church as well, you got to be careful because people will find themselves looking for status there. And it's not about that. He said, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest." That's what it's about,
yeah,
coming. It's not about coming and becoming a pastor. It's not about coming and becoming an evangelist. It's about coming unto him and letting him give us the rest that he died for.
yeah,
But that's so many people that are looking for this status. If I'm a part of this group, like you said, frats or whatever it is, you got all types of organizations. If I'm a
yeah,
part of this, I'm a
yeah,
part. That doesn't. No, aside from that, do you know who you are?
yeah,
Aside from your friend group, do you know who you are?
yeah. And can you
Aside from
function and be okay?
yeah. At the end of the day, I know who I am as Rod.
Yeah.
I know who I am as Dr. King, and I know who I am as Pastor King.
Mm-hmm.
They're labels, they're titles,
Right.
and I do my best to wear each one of them well.
Right.
But aside from this title or this calling or this circle of, do you know who? Because you got to know who you are.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy that we're having this conversation because I was having a conversation, with my son,
Mhm.
because it's just like sometimes you'll wonder, like, man, what is it about me? Like, why can't I find this fit my group? And you start questioning. So I had a heart to heart with him and I said, well, a lot of times when we're trying to live a certain way, that too is going to minimize your
Yes.
friend group because you don't tolerate a lot of things.
Yeah.
So let's talk about even that piece of, because I know especially young Christian adults, or just believers, period, it's like trying to navigate through that of, I am set apart, so how do I
Hold
keep
on, man.
those
Hold on.
friendships
You
I
say
once had now that I'm set apart? Like, does that even line up?
it lines up tremendously because when you see the life of Jesus, and most of us, regardless, because you got so many different groups or whatever, they'll say that they follow Christ. When you look at the life of Christ, it was at times a life of isolation. He
Mm,
had people who followed
wow.
him, but it wasn't a whole lot. Who was
Yeah.
really well, who walked with him, it wasn't a lot. He had a lot of people who followed him, and we found out they followed him for what he could do for them. But when it really came push to shove, it was only a few who stuck around, and some of them denied, but then they came back. Some of them died, but then they came back. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
would say, it's a good thing when you're not surrounded by a whole lot of people. When I was
Right.
growing up, there was this song, might not be a good reference, but from some of the things that's going on, but it was a song that talks about the more money, the more problems. And I
Yeah.
think I'll reference that and say the more friends, the more problems, because the more
Wow.
friends you have, the more directions you are pulled in. Because if you're not, you want to surround yourself with some people who are walking in the same direction that you're going, who are climbing, you know what I'm saying, who are trying to get to, y'all might get there different routes. Y'all might have different routes, but y'all are going in the same direction. But when
Right.
you start
Right.
saying, okay, I'm with this and this and this, you start getting pulled from so many different areas. And what happens is you become distracted. Now, we won't admit that. We won't tell people that we're distracted from the main thing. We won't tell people that, oh no, I do this. I pray. Nah, do you pray, but do you surrender? There's a
Mm,
difference. You can
yeah.
pray, oh Lord, thank you, but do you surrender? Do you make time to reverence and worship and different things like that? So I'm saying that to say, I would tell nephew and I would tell other young people is you don't want a whole bunch of friends. That might sound crazy. You might say, man, Doc, you got a boring life. No, I don't. Believe me. No, I don't. Y'all keep me entertained on social media. I
Yeah.
do not have a boring life. When I sit there and see some of the stuff, like, man, I thought y'all mad at each other. Oh, did y'all just say y'all was so like that? You keep it so you don't need a whole bunch of friends. It keeps you out of trouble. And what you need more than anything. Let me say this: what you need more than anything is some accountability partners.
Yeah.
You need some accountability partners.
Yes.
People
Yeah.
so busy looking for companionship, they don't understand the importance of partnership. You need some accountability partners.
And that's the thing too, like, because what happens is, let's talk about this piece. What are friends truly for?
Mm,
And you just really said it, like,
yeah.
your friends should be your accountability partner, but there should be some aligning with your purpose.
Yes.
I think the biggest misconception is this is just my friend, but it's like you have
Right.
to see how are the people in your friend group aligning with your purpose?
Just if I have and I hope this makes sense. I truly hope this makes sense. I have a Android phone. I got an Android phone. I believe you got an iPhone, right?
Yes.
And I don't know how they make, but I'm just assuming because what I remember, I know stuff upgrades and stuff changes, but I'm just assuming that my Android, if I try to plug your iCharger into my Android, it won't work, right?
No.
Now, tell me this: it's a charger, right?
Yes.
But it won't give me connection.
No.
And a lot of times, because something is familiar or comparable or in some state or form, we try to make it work. We try to make it fit, but it won't give us any connection. It doesn't give us any power. It doesn't
Mhm.
give us any energy. It's draining us. It's
Right.
beating us down. It's wearing us down. If you're a friend, your friend should be a connection. They should be a spark. They should energize you. They should
Right.
encourage you. They should lift you. They should pull you up and not push you down. They should push you forward and not push you back. That's what friends do. Your friends will disagree with you, not because they don't like you, not because they can't stand you, not because they want to fight you, not because they found, and not because of what the streets saying about you or whatever. No, you and your friend, y'all have disagreements because guess what? You want to see each other do better, and you
Yeah.
refuse to allow the other one to settle. You know what I'm saying. You refuse to allow the other one to sit back and take the look. No, 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 no. If I'm moving forward, you're moving forward. So my job is to pull you and take you with me. If people don't want friends, you need an accountability partner.
Yes.
You need somebody who's gonna hold you accountable. I share this with you with my friend, my friend Simo. You know what I'm saying? We were at football practice one day, and I coach linebackers, he coached running backs. We going at it. And it gets intense because now it's rolled over from the drills and everything. And we talking across the field back and forth at each other, giving each other the business. And if
Right.
you didn't know, you would think, hold on, these two coaches about to fight in front of these high schools too. You know what I'm saying? We come up, practice ends, other coaches looking crazy like, man, this thing heated. First thing come out my mouth is, because we gotta it's the summer, we coming back to another practice. Homeboy, where you going to eat? Oh, I'm going to such and such and such. You want to ride with me? True. Boom. We come back to the meet and then they like, man, we thought y'all was gonna fight.
Oh Lord.
And y'all just, man, we ain't mad. That's my too.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
might not agree about it or get into it, but no. We're competing not to be better than each other, but to make each other better.
Better. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
it's
when you're thinking about it, as you were saying all of that, really there should be some fruitfulness in the friendship. Like, you should be able to see some good fruit from these friend relationships. Like, why would you want to be connected to and have relationships that are not fruitful?
That are not fruitful.
And that takes me to this next thing of seasonal. Like a
Ooh,
lot of times, people don't understand that friendships can be seasonal, and that is okay.
it's
Like,
okay.
that doesn't mean you hate the person or y'all have had a falling out. All that means is the alignment, where you're going, where they're going, it has veered off. But guess that's okay. Like, you don't, some friends are not even meant to be in all your seasons, every part of your life.
Sis, do you drink milk? I know we grew up drinking milk. I knew
Almond
we
milk.
grew, but you know we grew up drinking milk. I was telling mom, I said she told me she thought we like canned milk. That's why that junk was so nasty.
Yeah.
Anyway, you drink milk. If you so you bought milk before whole milk or have you ever left it in your refrigerator too long?
Yes.
What happens to it?
Spoils.
And when something spoils, it tends to do what?
Smell.
And you trying to figure out where that smell come from.
Yeah.
You still holding on to something you should have been let go.
Yeah.
And now the relationship stank. You
Yeah.
can't figure out why y'all keep fussing and why y'all keep
Right.
fighting and why y'all keep. It's because they're no longer supposed to be in your life. That relationship has expired.
Yeah.
When stuff expires, it starts to stink.
Wow.
You got to get rid of it. And it's not that it was again, as you stated, it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just it's expired. It's time
Yeah.
for it to go. You got
And
to get
that
rid
is
of it. It's time to move on.
okay. I truly think that's one of the toughest things for people to understand, that friendships, a lot of friendships are not meant to be long lasting.
Nope.
Like, because you grow and you evolve, and that doesn't take away the love that you have for that person, or if they needed something, like, that doesn't
It's
take
still there.
away that either. Like, it's just this just misunderstanding of just truly what friendships really mean. Just
Because we think, if you're my friend, you're supposed to do stuff for me.
mhm.
You're supposed to, if you're my, no, we're supposed to do stuff for each other. Now,
Right.
there may be a time because, and at the end of the day, what I'm doing for you at this, I'm gonna talk about the stage in life where I am right now.
Mhm.
What I'm doing for you is something to help pull you up.
Right. Because
That's
this
what I'm
is the
doing for you.
stage for
That's,
us.
that's the stage I'm in now. You mad at me because I won't give you fish. You mad at me because I'm trying to teach you how to fish.
Yeah.
No, I don't need you coming to me every week asking me to borrow $20
Till tomorrow.
till tomorrow. Till tomorrow. But if I teach you how to fish, you can eat for the rest of your life. So
Wow.
my job as your friend is to set you up with some skills and give you some connections that are going to help you continuously grow. If you're
Right.
my friend and you don't want to grow, then it's so much communication and contact with it we're gonna have.
Wow.
Because I need you to help pull out the best in me because that's going to be my job to help pull out the best in you.
Exactly. So let's talk about, this is something that came up. And I had an opportunity to talk to someone about this, and she for a long time didn't understand what I meant by it, but I think with maturity and as she's a little older, she's understanding it. But I used to always tell her friendships should not be draining
At
at
all.
all. And what I mean, what I used to tell her is, it's only a few people that just can come to my house all the time, because they can come to my house, and if I want to take a nap, they could just be content and do whatever.
I know it.
It's no energy
I
whatsoever.
don't have to entertain you.
I don't have to entertain you whatsoever. And so I used to always try to get her to understand, if you're in friendships that are draining, you truly have to assess, should you be friends with this person or these
Mhm.
people. Let's talk about that, because I want people, friendships should not be draining. If
It shouldn't
people
be draining.
if you're
Friendship
hanging
shouldn't be
around
drained.
people or you're inviting them over and it's supposed to be a good time and then they leave or they still there and you like I'm ready for you to go, like, or you just like, man, I ain't doing that ever. Like, you got to really assess, like, should I be friends
Should I
with
be
you?
friends? Because my your friendship should uplift.
Yeah.
But now here's the thing. This is what causes them to drain you. They drain you because they cause you to carry. I mean, what am I carrying? And most of the times when friendships are draining you, you're constantly carrying burdens. Now listen
Wow.
to me. At any given time, you're going a real friend, you're gonna carry a burden. You're gonna carry that because that's what you are. You're gonna be that shoulder to cry on. You're going to be that listening ear. But you know, there are some people who always got a burden. There's some people who always got a problem. There's some people who are always in a situationship. I think I can say that. It's not a relationship, it's a situationship. They always in some type of there's some people who thrive on negativity, they thrive
Wow.
on neediness, they thrive on manipulation, and they just thrive on leaving you emotionally, spiritually, mentally exhausted. That's
Wow.
I mean, so those type of friendships that pull you down, or they inconvenient. They inconvenience you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They just inconvenience you.
Yeah.
And so not you got to be careful because not everyone is meant to walk into your life. Not everyone in your life is meant to walk in your purpose with you.
Wow.
So when you try to bring people, I can give you Bible.
Yeah. Give us
God never told Abraham to take Lot.
right.
He
He
never
did.
told him to. And every time he turned around, Lot was in something.
Right.
And to go and
Yes.
get him out of it. He was always in something. Then when it came to, I'm gonna take you with me. And remember, Lot tried to choose the best land.
Yeah.
But thank God he had Isaac, and Isaac said, "Can you dig?" And then he went to digging wells everywhere. And
Yeah.
what is so? It's just you see what I'm saying. So it's like sometimes we try to bring people with us who God never told us to, and they'll keep us in something. Or when we get to where we're going, I brought you with me, and you feel entitled to have. So it's
Wow.
yeah. I want to share this success with you, but now you feel entitled to have it.
Wow.
So yeah, so you just gotta guard your heart. You gotta guard your circle. You
Yes.
just gotta you gotta man. These people are drained.
Yes. And as you were talking, it made me, want to talk about this next thing. And we're not talking about like a couple's relationship, but let's be honest. Sometimes your friendships can turn into such a codependency until you
Ooh.
like, are we together? Cause it's like
You talk about something now.
this is becoming a bit much expectation or your what you expect or require from me is becoming too codependent, too much of like this intimate relationship. Let's navigate through that.
Needy people who have. I'm gonna tell you, people who this is very crucial and critical for people who have a servant's heart, people who have a giving heart, people who have a loving heart. You gotta make sure that you're not hijacked by a codependent person.
Wow.
You gotta make sure because what you'll find yourself doing in the relationship is always over giving.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? We talk about, come on, you have to have, we're friends. At some point in time, you shouldn't always come to the table with nothing. If we're friends,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
we're friends, every now and then we go out, you should be able to say, I'm treating, even if it's at Wendy's.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to give us something. So, but what happens when we're dealing with codependency, we feel that need to be needed, to be wanted, to be looked on as this person who can help, who can support, and we don't understand that the person who we call friend has become hooked on us.
Wow.
And they need, guess what? They need what we have to offer, just like they're a junkie. So they're always calling you for something. So that's why you're overgiving. That's why you're over pleasing. That's why you're over attaching. That's why you're always around. They never go. That's why they always calling. That's why these over, because it becomes a dependency. Which in essence, when you're dealing with these codependent relationships, it's basically one friend carries the weight of the other's emotions. Come on, codependent, man, you make a bad decision. How that's my fault?
Yeah.
Why am I paying the consequences for your bad decision?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're in a codependent relationship.
Wow.
Why is it when you know what I'm saying when people see you know what I'm saying yeah people used to say oh that's so and so no but when they say oh whatever going wrong with you they figure it's going wrong with me.
Wow.
When they see birds of a feather flock together, it's never, oh yeah, man, they good friends, they cool people, they this. Well, you heard about birds of a feather, and it creates an imbalance. It creates the exhaustion in the one who's doing all the work. So you got to be careful when
You
it
do.
comes to these codependent relationships and everything, because
So
they'll have you entangled, exhausted, and enabled,
yes, I was
disabled.
gonna put on your pastor's hat right quick because I just want to pull this out of you. Because I know this goes on. I've seen it so many times. You have these friends, but you're married and you want to do this and you want to do that. And, and your husband is a little like, but you married. Or your wife might be a little like, but you married. So, how do one balance friendships when they're married? And a lot of times their friends may not be married.
Mhm.
So how does that work and how does one navigate through that of
First, let me get in trouble.
overcoming
Let me get
guilt
in
and
trouble
all
here first. Let me get in trouble here first for when we're super deep, folk, because I tell people I do believe that you could be friends with someone who isn't married. My homeboy, like I tell, just talking about, said he was married. He wasn't married for years.
that? Mhm.
That was my dude. We hung out, we did. But the one thing is, guess what? I don't care. Me and Angel got into it, and we what he go. You know what he gonna tell me? Oh boy, take your butt home.
Yeah.
Take your butt home.
Yeah.
What you out here shooting basketball with me for? Doing something? Man, take your butt home. Take your butt. Now, I can hear him right. Take your butt home. It was gonna tell me. So I'm afraid. So you got to make sure if you're going to, you got to make sure because sometimes we surround ourselves with some single friends and they'll convince you that what you're doing ain't nothing wrong with it, or a person is trying to keep you in bondage. They're trying to keep you from having fun. They're trying to steal your identity. We won now. We won. We should be having the same identity. But the first thing I'm say, says is, do you want to stay married?
Wow.
That's the first thing. My first question is, do you want to stay married? You know, so if your spouse has an issue with someone or some people, or has an issue with you constantly going out and doing certain things, that's a conversation that needs to be had. And if you want to save your marriage, that's a conversation that will be heard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
especially when you know you got somebody who love you. See, that's the thing. How
Yeah.
you gonna kick against them? You know you got somebody who love you, is concerned about you, who cares for you, and everything. And you, no. That friend, when you said I do, you two no longer, you two became one.
Yeah.
So it's the decisions that I make are not about myself. And see, a lot of times that's why you got to be careful because instead of it being selflessness, because we come when we become one, we said I'm no longer going to be selfish. I'm gonna be selfless because it's not about me. It's about you. That's
Yeah.
how we should see each other. It's not about me being always being. It's about they have this thing. Oh God, I'm about to keep on getting in trouble. A happy wife, happy life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I tell people, happy spouse, happy house. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You better work on making sure both of y'all got a
Both
smile on
parties.
your face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's and that is a thing. You got to have that conversation with your spouse. And if your spouse is seeing some stuff, stop acting like, come on now. If your spouse see it, you know you see it.
Yeah.
Matter of
Yeah.
fact, you already know it.
Yeah.
They ain't like that. You already know. They can see it. They know. So stop acting like they don't know. And they don't, that's why they don't want, because they don't want. And then you might say this. You might say, well, he knew that I did, or she knew, but you said that you will love and honor and obey and cherish till death do. You made them vows.
Right.
So
Right.
honor that. Be a man or a woman of your word and honor that.
Wow.
If somebody trying to have you in entrapment or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But hey, your spouse is trying to protect the marriage.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, you coming in all times of night and different things. Oh, we girls trips and we doing that. Nah,
Yeah.
my wife, they do girls trips. Holy, but they do the church. I mean, but I'm just and there are a few friends and family. If you say, hey, me and Adrian, we're gonna go ahead and say we're gonna go and get out. Hey, we're gonna spend
Yeah.
this place I want to take her to, and so it is that. I ain't got no problem with that.
Yeah.
But in some people,
You
man,
no.
don't even fix your mouth to ask me that. Don't even waste your time asking me.
So let's switch gears because I'm going to go back in time and
Let's
talk
go.
about this piece because this is close to me because of just how I am as a person. I feel like, my siblings always were able to create friends and, just have a friend group. But for some reason, for me, the what was going on in the home, just I just had a hard time with trusting people. I mean, I'm still like that as an adult, and people who get close to me, I'll share that and say, man, if I let you in, like that is like huge because it's like just because of traumas and just different things that I've gone through, it is so difficult for me to trust people to even get to that friendship status. Like it's very slow. Like, cause I just have to be like, okay, God, like, So let's talk about that piece for people who, may be in similar situations as me, trying to navigate through that trust piece with
Mhm.
friendship because of different situations that have happened.
I think our past, it just seemed like a CSI thing. You know how they do the fingerprinting thing?
Yeah.
And it does, I think our past leaves fingerprints, or has the ability to leave fingerprints on our present relationships or
Mm.
friendships. I think it plays a role because our past, it has this tendency to haunt our memory.
Mm.
So when a person says a certain thing or moves a certain way, it triggers
Mhm.
thoughts of past. So what our mind begins to do is rewrite the rules of
Wow.
what a friendship is supposed to be.
Wow.
And most of the time, I start to keep you at bay because I don't want you to get too close.
Mhm.
Because we have to understand, like, connection is big.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
shake somebody's hand, you're making a connection.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you talk to somebody, when you text somebody, you're making a connection. So those connections, if you're not careful, they filter through our past wounds. And if those wounds were never healed, it could be something. So when trust been broken, you know what we know what our heart builds walls.
Yeah.
It's just our heart builds walls rather than bridges, and we become overguarded. As you
Mhm.
were stating, we become overguarded, keeping everyone at a distance. I can't let you in because the truth is can keep us unhealthy past relationship can keep us from having a healthy present.
Wow.
If
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah, that
sense,
makes it does make
if that
sense,
makes sense.
and I wanted to hit that because I know that is something that I've had to navigate through. I just remember, a few
Mhm.
years ago, I was going through some stuff at work and I just was having a difficult, and it wasn't work related, but I was just going through some things in life. And it's like, just needing someone to talk to. And it's like, oh my, that trust piece. But thank God, he allowed me to build some
Yeah,
good friendships with people.
yeah.
Even he'll send people in your life and say, like, trust trust this person. So I just felt in my heart to share that because I know I'm not the only one. I know, like, it is a lot of people out there who have trust issues, even with friendships,
Almost definitely.
just pouring, your heart out and trusting, people. And it's okay, but you have to allow God to give you that discernment and just open your heart again to trust, and he will send you the right people that you can trust, and
I,
I'm still maturing and
yeah.
growing from that. So,
I believe that is one of the hardest things to heal from broken
mhm,
trust.
wow.
I posted something. It was either late last night, or early this morning. If hurting people hurt people, then shouldn't heal people?
Wow.
And it's hard
Yeah.
because been hurt, and you want to help heal, but you're worried about being hurt.
Yeah.
You're worried about being so. I don't know if people realize like how hard it could be. That is I think those are some of the struggle, and it leads to. I'm gonna tell you what it leads to. Excuse me, something that we started off talking about, and
Yeah.
I think it really stems from this unforgiveness.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're still working on forgiving because it's like I'm not going to allow, and then you realize I haven't forgiven in that area. So every time it comes, I put up this wall. So it goes back.
That
It goes back to the that unforgiveness piece, and so
yeah.
yeah.
And I hope that me being honest about where I'm at, where I was, where I still am, where I'm trying to get helps people because I know that is I'm like a avoider of friends. That makes sense, but it has nothing to do with people. Sometimes people will take things personally
Mhm.
and they'll think it's them or they'll because they don't understand. But I'm just thankful that the people that I have opened myself up to understand, like, man, I get it. Like, get why, you have had these trust issues. I get that. So I'm just hoping other people will give themselves the opportunity to be able to trust again so that they can, have some good solid friends that can align with purpose
Mhm.
because it is people out there that are good and solid that can align, with the purpose
There's,
that God has for you.
this scripture that says tells us above all else to guard our heart.
Mhm.
And guarding your heart doesn't mean you have to close it.
Wow, I
And
like
that's
that.
the thing. It means you're discerning what you're
Yeah.
willing to let in. And so, yeah, don't, sometimes it's not so much, and this just for someone, it could be for you, so it's not so much that, it's closed. It's just that you're discerning
Mhm.
who and what you should let in.
Yeah.
Because you're at a stage in an age now you can control,
Yeah.
what you
Yeah. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
now you're in control. Before, it's some things you couldn't control.
Right.
But now you're in control. And when you understand how to use that control, things won't bother you as much as they used to. You'll know how to maneuver through. And then for that person who may be dealing with a friend like you,
Mhm.
that you have to be able to meet people where they at. I think a
Yeah.
lot of times we want people to be a certain way.
Mhm.
Oh, this is Yasheika, this is my friend who, every now and then we gonna get together.
Every now
We
and
may not.
then.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So when she calls, I gotta be ready because boy, I might not. We
You're
hanging out
shocked.
today.
Like,
I might not get a call from her until sometime this summer. But hey, I was thinking about you. But that's how some people are. I mean,
yeah.
really. That's
Yeah.
how. And I mean, you. Well, they're not afraid. What you mean? If you really needed them for something, they show up for you.
So there.
Just
So
because you
there.
don't talk every day or see each other every day doesn't mean you're not friends.
And I had to learn that that's okay.
It's okay.
It is okay. Let's talk about kingdom centered friendships
Okay.
because I think that is what I was able to dive into
Uh-huh.
and open my heart to,
That's
like
freedom.
that understanding of kingdom friendship, kingdom centered friendships, because I'm a homebody. So I'm not a person that is gonna wanna go out and do this. And I love to see people on girls' trips. I'm not a girls' trip person. Like
Looking
my
at
mom
pictures like, oh,
created
they had
me.
fun. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I
like
mean, I go back to look at that TV.
yeah, I am my mama's child. But once I truly learned about kingdom centered friendships, it was like a aha moment because it allows me to understand that, man, yes, I see myself there. I'm sharpening
That
iron
part.
sharpen iron. Like
That's the
I want
part.
to be connected to friendships that we can sharpen each other. I want to be connected. I have a friend. I mean, heck, you don't even know about her really, but and you're my bro, like one of my closest
Yeah.
friends. But our son started at the academy together, and King hasn't been to the academy in like 3 something years. But me and her still, we call it quarterly dates, like where we hook up, but we're sending each other texts, praying, like the Lord is just dropping her spirit or my spirit, and we're like, hey, what's going on? Because you in my spirit, I'm praying for you. I'm this, like, but just praying for each other, sharpening each other, like those kingdom centered friendships. Like, let's talk about why those type of friendships are so important.
Yeah, because keep it's great because it's rooted in God first off, and it's not about convenience.
Mhm.
It's not about comfort. It's a relationship where your hearts are aligned with Christ, and it encourages growth. As we were talking, it encourages accountability and purpose.
Yeah,
You find these are the relationships that help pull out your purpose. Why? Because you stated it. Iron is sharpening iron. You're
yeah,
sharpening each other. We had a conversation, and I don't know if I'm moving ahead, but we kind of had a conversation before we even got started. And we talking about the reason so many people miss these relationships is because the friction that takes place
yeah,
and when the iron is being sharpened. And we're so like, it's too much friction, and we give up on the relationship. Not
yeah.
knowing if you keep on sharpening, that friction eventually smooths out. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It sharpens you, it prepares you, for what it is that you're doing. So keeping this in friendships is not about breaking you. It's not. It's not. It's about lifting you. It's about
Yeah,
challenging you. You know what I'm saying? It's about celebrating victories. It's about
yeah,
interceding
yeah,
for each other, standing in the gap, speaking life. I'm big, speak life. It's about speaking life into each other. It's not about condemnation, but it's about sharing convictions. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
hmm,
come on, it's strengthening. You know what I'm saying? It's about building up. So kingdom friendships don't just pass the time; it
yeah,
will family. I tell people this is where
yeah,
loyalty is
yeah,
like, not being loyal to a fault, but loyal to the purpose that God has put on your life. So I'm in this relationship, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that purpose is birthed out of you.
yes.
That's what they do. So a kingdom, I think I can say it this way, sis, and I'll give it over to you. A kingdom centered friendship is like a midwife. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? That midwife, that one who's there helping you give birth to your purpose, helping you give birth to your destiny, helping you reach
Wow.
your full potential, making sure that you don't bury your talent. You know what I'm saying? That's you know what I'm saying. That's what that kingdom minded or that kingdom centered friendship should be about. I like that, a midwife spirit, like a spiritual
I love
midwife. You'll push. Even when you want to give up, you want to quit.
Yeah,
You're almost there. You're all So yeah, the
man.
spiritual midwife.
Man, I love it. I love it. And you know what? It has nothing to do with proximity
Nope.
because I think that's the biggest
Oh, that's
misconception too about friendships is that, it has to be close by or you have to be together all the time. I saw something on social media that said if your friend doesn't call you but every 3 months or 6 months, are they a friend? And I'm like, well, do you really know what a
I'm
friend
in trouble. I'm in
I'm
trouble.
like, well, do you know what a friend is? Because I want to be to where I know I got a friend where I'm like, even if it's 6 months, I can be like, hey, I am going through this, or hey, this is going on, or hey, I'm in town. Hey,
Yep.
like it has nothing to do with proximity.
Nothing to do with proximity. I tell people that all the time. I got some friends. I mean, it's like if it's a we don't talk. Lord knows we don't. But when we do, it's funny. We will be on the phone for hours, and it's just like I figure like she. And here's the thing: it's a few of them I talk to, and Adria can tell me, based if she hear me, or you were talking to such and such. Like
Yeah.
she can tell whether I was talking to this one. That she can
Mhm.
tell based on how she hit because she already know each one of them has different personalities.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, so it's like and it's a blessing. So it's like
And
we
you
don't
pick
talk
up where
every day.
you left off. Like you
Yeah,
just,
we do not talk, but when we do finally talk, man, it's like, man, let's get off this phone, man. We got to
yes.
get up and go to work in the morning because we're
Yeah.
catching up for old time. We can. And then I got one who doesn't forget anything. He remembers, and he gonna. And you remember he gonna call just to say, you remember when?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we gonna laugh about it because it was something that's funny. He making a joke about. So yeah,
Yeah.
proximity. No,
Yeah, because
people.
even with that, just keeping this before people that boundaries are that
Yes,
is so healthy. having boundaries in any
Many
relationship
relationships.
is healthy. So definitely your friendships, like having those boundaries is just so healthy.
Just
Let's talk
because we
about
friends, just because we friends, don't mean I just pop up on you. I mean,
exactly.
on this, but you better, hey, you better
Exactly.
call and see if you welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's different. Holidays, sometimes you already know. Crips, if you
Yeah,
home,
'cause yeah.
somebody gonna stop by. Things, somebody live this, but I'm just sitting here bottom bed on my mind. I'm about to take off my shoes and clip my toenails, and then you want to just, okay.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm about to put my bonnet on and just get comfortable and and you
Uh,
come to my door, I'm like, you expecting somebody? Because I ain't expecting.
don't make me act like I'm not home. Okay, go ahead, sis.
Let's talk about this last piece before we let the people go. Because we talked a lot about friendships, but what is one practical step? What's
Oh boy.
one piece of advice that you would give somebody to help them, get on the right path with healthy friendships? Because we know so many people are in unhealthy friendships. Unhealthy friendships that the season has been past, been expired, or they're just giving too much, or the person is codependent. What is one piece of advice that you would share with somebody?
I had something, and I'm gonna say it, but then something, another word jumped in my spirit, and I hope it makes sense. But I had choose accountability over comfort, because a lot of people want to connect with want friends who make them comfortable.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I
I'm glad I got some friends who is like, game. Nah, you shouldn't have handled that like that. Or you should have, you know what I'm saying? And I can appreciate that, because sometimes people will look, well, you got the degree or you got the title, or you pastor, whatever. And they'll look at you a little different like you. But I don't want that. I
right.
want friends. I tell if you're going to be my friend, you're going to be my accountability partner. If you can't be my accountability partner, I don't need you as a friend. Because
Wow.
if I get in trouble, it's your fault.
And we don't need
Tell them, if I get it's your fault. You're my accountability partner. Your
we,
job, my job is to make sure you good. Your job is to make sure I'm good. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? But I want to say this right here, and I'm gonna give it to you, sis. I'm gonna change that comfort to connections.
Mm.
Choose accountability over connections.
Wow.
Because some people will befriend people because of where they think they can get them, not because they'll hold them accountable. Because if you hold me accountable, I can get there. I won't need your connection. Not to that standpoint, you
You
know.
done made me lean in.
Yeah. But that's what happens. We choose connections. People, you got to be careful. Stop choosing connections. Stop running after connections. Stop running after the next name.
And better
Stop,
yet, stop saying they're a friend.
stop
If
saying they're a
they're
friend when they're
if
not.
they're just for connection, let
It's
it
just
be
for connections. That's all. That's the only reason in your life is for a specific benefit. That's not a friend.
that.
That's not a
Mm.
friend.
Look,
You
I
really,
ain't even gonna try to top that because you had me lean in off of that because
yeah.
I just know that happens so much. Look, y'all, friendships or friction. We gonna wrap it up for tonight. I don't even. He left me speechless again because that is just look. We are so thankful for those of you who were able to tune in, or
Thank you
those of
so
you
much.
who are watching. The replay of it. Just be blessed. Just gain discernment. Be willing to open your heart again because God will not lead you astray when you are looking for kingdom centered friendships.
Kingdom Center
So
friendship.
until next week, y'all be blessed from gutter to grow. Peace.
Peace, family.